Hello, hello. Welcome to Lady of the Light. I am the Lady of the Light. My name is Loretta. Welcome in. Welcome in. Whoo, we're going through it. I just want to say, since the Leo new moon, there's been some Genesis code that came in from the Leo new moon energies this past couple of days, and you can definitely feel it. I felt it in my heart, behind my heart. There's been some pounding, and 3 or 4 times. It's to break down the walls around the heart of trauma that's been buried, and to get your heart chakra open. That's one of them. Another one that I came across was my skin. It seems to have got an intelligence to it now. You can feel and sense easier as you go into your new rainbow body, your new energy body. So it does feel a lot. It feels different. You can definitely feel it. So if you're feeling that, that's one of the codes that were the Genesis codes. So your new rainbow energy body can feel, feel out energies around you. You're more sensitive to feeling, and yeah, I know I am. And my hair had got a lot softer. I don't know, something changed with that. I tried to shampoo my hair and I had to do it twice. I never have to do that, and it's like the shampoo it wouldn't soak up or anything. It was strange. That was something different that I had noticed. And I noticed a lot of pain in the lower spine area, something around the root chakra. In the womb, there was some Genesis codes that were hitting the sexual organs, the around the womb area, and the sexual organs. So I felt some movement and throbbing, and it's not harmful, but you could feel there were some changes happening with that. And so yeah, some pain in the spine, around the spine, the lower spine, a couple of days of tightening, and some pain. It's not harmful, but it's a little uncomfortable. And so I went on, and I wanted to speak about time today, how time works in the new and with the new energy body, and the new earth that we're creating the new earth, and how when these changes come in, how time is different. It's not linear. It's how you use time now. You move with the synchronicities. 111, 222, 333, 444. You start adapting to that. But time is speeding up, and I know you can tell. It's just speeding up. The earth is spinning faster, but time is speeding up. But actually, time moves through us. We actually don't go anywhere when you go into this new earth. Time moves through us. And my dealings with time is that I've even noticed the clocks skip. I was making a cake, and it's 2 minutes. You have to mix the cake with the cake mixer. You have to mix it, and it's only 2 minutes. And I was standing at the counter looking at the stove, timing the 2 minutes, and it's a digital clock I was looking at on the stove, and it went from like 3:36 to 3:38. It jumped like 4 minutes, and it was right in front of my eyes. I've seen that happen a couple of times. I've seen time jump right in front of my eyes looking at the clock. I saw it happen and jumped to 2 minutes. So time, it is speeding up, and it will jump as to keep you in alignment on your path. So that's why that's doing that. I even have somebody that lost 30 minutes time that I know that is here with me. So they noticed that the clock, they lost 30 minutes of time. But yeah, that will happen. It's strange, but you can. And another thing with time, I have been able to time travel. So I've gone to the future, and I went to the future one time. I was working with Uber and driving, and I guess I went to the year about 2030, or maybe later, not much later. But it was a Friday, and it was only around 7, and I went to pick up an order for a customer for Uber to deliver it. And I went into this Winn-Dixie grocery store at 7, and a busy 6-lane highway on a corner. And it should have been packed and full. And I went in there, and the parking lot looked empty. So I said, well, this is strange. Before I went in, I said, this parking lot looks awful empty. And I went in there, and the lights were dim. And there was really nobody in there. There was about 4 cashiers standing there with no customers, nobody in the place. And I said, wow, this is wild. And I got a basket, and I started going through the Winn-Dixie store, and there were no people in there. And this eerie feeling I had. I said, this is really eerie. And so I started to get some Cokes or something for one of the customers. And I said, well, I'm going to check out. And I went to check out the items that I had pulled for the customer to be delivered. And the cashier was mechanic acting, robotic acting. And he was congenial, but it was a coldness to him, It was a cold feeling that I got. Something's not real here. And he checked me out. He took my money and said thank you, and I said thank you too. And I was standing there, and the guy, he was a robot. Every cashier in there, they were robots. So I was taken there, to the future in time to see that our cashiers will become robots at these grocery stores. But it was eerie. But you can definitely tell that they were soulless beings that, I could tell. There was a coldness and eeriness to it. But that was one of the one of the times that I had this was about, I'd say about 3 or 4 years ago this happened. But then of course, when we change dimensions, we can do that too. I noticed I was changing dimensions also, but how you notice that is through landmarks. Buildings that you see along a certain path you take every day. You notice the buildings and the landmarks. Some will be there one day, and then some will be If you're in another dimension, they won't be there, or if you switch a dimension, they'll just be building something there. But a lot of people, they don't realize what's around them. They just drive and they don't realize the landscape. But I was very tuned into looking at the details of the landscapes that are around us. And if you tune in and you're on a certain drive that you drive every day, you can tell if you're changing dimensions by noticing the landscapes. Billboards, that's another thing you can or landmarks. They will change in an instant overnight. I saw one billboard that changed. It had a big old large cow. I mean, this billboard was like as tall as the Empire State Building with a big cow on top of it. And I'd go by there the next day and it's a whole different billboard about insurance or something. So you can tell then when you're changing dimensions. If you look at your landscape and what's supposed to be there and what's not. That's a good way to that I could tell I was changing dimensions. And I had another episode with time, and I did this like 2 or 3 times. You can relive the same day, like Groundhog Day. I mean, it was just like Groundhog Day, word for word, the same characters. And it was, but I did that. I worked at a beach resort. I was working in the laundry room, and we were all working, my fellow employees, and all of a sudden, out on the street, somebody hit an electrical pole and knocked out all the electricity. And it was strange. So it was down for a while. And there was a guard that worked there. He guarded the place. He was there, and they asked him to, while the electricity was down, they asked us all to go up and wash some windows up there on the second floor. It was me, him, and another employee. And so we all did that. And then he let some of the people go home because of electricity, but a couple of us had to stay there. But it was strange because 3 or 4 months went by, and that same day happened to me again. But the guard, he had won the lotto in between that time, and him and his wife got, he quit working there, and him and his wife, moved on in with his father. And then 3 or 4 months later, that same day happened again, just like Groundhog Day. The same day, the electricity went out, and the guard was back. He was back working there that day. It was creepy. And everything happened word for word, act for act. The electricity went out, and then the manager wanted the windows cleaned up on the second floor, and went through that whole day again, word for word, act for act. So you can relive time. It's possible. And there's another thing about time that I've witnessed. I've done this, 3 or 4 times. There's free time. It's called free time. And you just call it in. But it's like in your spiral, you orbit around the outside of all your possibilities. And I swear I've done it 2 or 3 times, and like it'll be Friday, and time will it will on a when you're in free time, it will tick by a little faster that day, but you'll have a free feeling about it. And it was Friday, and time does go a little bit faster when you're in free time. You're just orbiting around all your possibilities. And the next day I woke up, it was Friday again, same day. So that's pretty good. That was pretty wild. I've done that a couple of times. But you can just choose. You can choose. You can call in free time and try to experience it. It's pretty wild. Um, what else about time? I have a lot about time. You can go back in time. Um, yeah, it was wild. Free time is pretty wild. But yeah, you can go back. You can go um, forwards. I went to the future one time, and all the chosen ones. This was like before I even had my awakening. I saw a poster of all the chosen ones. Well, there wasn't all of them because there's 144,000 of us here, but I saw a poster at a flea market about, I'd say about 25 years ago, before my awakening, and we were all on horses, and there was about 50 of us in this poster. We had swords, and we were in the leather attire. And I looked at it, and it said the chosen ones, and I walked off from the poster, and I had to go back and look at it, and I said, that looks like me in the middle of it. And I looked at it. My hair was shorter, but it was a spitting image of me. And there's a couple of them that I recognize today that are, some tarot readers and some way showers that are on YouTube. I recognize them. They were in the poster. But I had saw them like 20, 25 years ago in a poster. I wished I had bought it, but I didn't buy it. I probably would have lost it anyway because I've been through so much moving here since I started on my spiritual path. But time, yeah. When the new energy body comes in, it's like time slows down. It slows down a lot for the with the new energy body. It slows down the aging process. It will do that also. And you come into a more vibrant, stronger, easier, lighter energy. But that's what's coming in now. We're trying to get our energy body, our light energy body, activated and online. But we have Lionsgate coming up on 8/8 Lionsgate, but the portal's open now and the energies are coming in. And there's just a lot going on right now with the solar flares from the sun, some powerful ones hitting the planet. But I even saw a tsunami threat for Hawaii yesterday. So a lot going on, a lot of change in this and that. But yeah, notice your time. It's happening. But we step in and we don't use time that way anymore. We step into synchronicities and synchronize, use our synchronicities with time, because you're always on time. It doesn't matter. If you're not on time, time will change to keep you in alignment. So you are on time, but everybody's always on time. You're never late. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to go for now, and I'm going to send my love out to you guys. I'm trying to, I'm going through it still myself, and I'm still in a spiritual war with my ex from 8, 9 years ago, and it's been pretty rough. But I think it's coming to an end pretty soon because God's separating the wheat from the shaft right now, and the planet has it peels like an onion. Well, I'll talk about that another day. But it's split. It's resonance. It's where your vibration and your resonance. You know, if you're going to resonate with fear and numbing out and drugs and hate, you're going to go one side because that's where you resonate. If you're resonating with the love and the higher frequency, and the love and the light, you're going to go this way. So it's coming to a head, but I'm still, I had a whole army of people against me, but that's what chosen ones go through. They're tested and tried. And that's what they go through. I'm still going through some of that, but I love you guys. I'll be back to talk to you later. Stay in time. Try out that free time. It's wild. I like it because you actually gain time, and then you can wake up the next day and it's still the same day that it was supposed to be, and you get a whole free day. But it's meant to use for your potentials, to try to see if you can, you know, step into, new realities, new potentials for your mission, or things that you have a passion about, But stay in the light. I love you guys. I'll be back. I'm trying to get back here tomorrow. I'm trying to get on track here, but I'm at the crossroads here myself, and there's a lot happening. And I'm an empath. It's getting better. I love you guys. Hang in there.